What up, NBA world? It's the one and only legend of winning, aka Low. And day one of the 2022 NBA free agency season was historic, dog. As always, we got a whole bunch of drama, bunch of signings, bunch of tradings, and possibly, just possibly, the biggest trade package we will ever see in NBA history may manifest from this KD trade demand. And as I say that, that has to be the first thing we talk about. If you do not know, Kevin Durant decided to demand a trade. After just 3 seasons playing in Brooklyn, he said enough is enough and he's tired of it. He wants to move on. Now, there are conflicting stories and reasonings why this occurred, so a lot of speculation. However, I did already upload a video. I want to take some of the things I said back because it seems as if it's not exactly that KD and Kyrie are not on the same page. It's the simple fact that they feel as if they were somewhat disrespected or, to a lesser degree, not on the same page with the front office. Now, how all of this unfolded is that Kyrie Irving early this week was on the last year of his deal. He had a player option, and he wanted to get an extension, a max contract extension. Now, again, it's not clear on what exactly Brooklyn countered with, but they countered with something that was not a max contract. Kyrie viewed that as disrespectful, especially if, and a lot of people are speculating, the contract came with some type of games played contingency. Kyrie basically was told, hey man, we don't believe that you're worth anything much else. You're very risky. You've missed a lot of games. If you want to play here, this is the contract that we're going to give you for a long term because it is a risk keeping you around. Kyrie viewed it as disrespectful, challenged the Brooklyn Nets, went into the free agency market, or at least had his team talk to other organizations to see what he can get out of them. It basically got nothing. So because of that, Kyrie had no other choice but to come back to Brooklyn, tuck his tail between his legs, and say, hey, you know what, man? I guess I got to opt in. And from that moment on, something happened. I don't know what. A lot of people, again, still speculating. Allegedly, KD and Kyrie didn't even communicate with one another. And yet, somehow, some way, we came to the conclusion or came to the result that KD is now demanding a trade. If that is the case, and if that's the driving force behind this, because the Brooklyn Nets had some hesitations and reservations of signing Kyrie to a max contract, I think KD and Kyrie, even though I respect the fact that they want to take control of their legacy and their careers, I think they are completely out of bounds in this scenario. And the reason why I said it is because from everything that I can recollect and remember, KD and Kyrie more or less got any and everything they wanted. As soon as they got to Brooklyn, they got the contracts that they wanted. Even though Kevin Durant was coming off of a career-altering injury, just like that, you got the contracts that you wanted. You want DeAndre Jordan? Just like that, we can make it done. DeAndre Jordan is now on his team. Even though we already have Jared Allen, even though he's leaps and bounds better than DJ, even though it made no sense for him to be on the team for the amount of money he was making, hey man, just like that, we gonna give it to you. Then after that, hey, you don't like Kenny Atkins? Oh, just like that, he gone too. Kenny Atkins is no more. And when you want Steve Nash, just like that, Steve Nash, no experience, is now your head coach. Steve Nash, when he became the head coach, he inserted DeAndre Jordan into the starting lineup over Jared Allen in year 2. Made no sense at all. Hey, guess what though? It doesn't matter because you want James Harden? Oh, just like that. We'll just trade everybody. Our whole depth defense, we'll trade him. Kyrie, we have to respect every decision he makes, and rightfully so. He's a man. I respect it. If you did or didn't want to play in the bubble, I don't know, but hey, I respect it. You going out missing games and having breaks in the season, hey, I respect it. And in a whole mandate situation, hey, I respect it. But after we do all of these things, and for the past 3 years, 3 years, it's basically resulted in postseason success that is amounting to one playoff series that they've came out victorious in. Just from the front office perspective, you damn right I should have some hesitation. And I don't understand why it's viewed as disrespectful if they don't. Now, again, to a degree, and I said this in my other video, I can understand where KD and Kyrie coming from. Look, bro, I said it, and I'm going to say it again. You've been on your knees from day one. You've been shaboying, you've been dick eating from day one. So you knew what this was. So when it's time for me to finish, don't act surprised. But at the end of the day, when it comes to a relationship, though, to KD and Kyrie, you got to make sacrifices. And again, we don't know everything, but it seems as if like Brooklyn was willing to make sacrifices and you all weren't. So this is the results. So now what does this mean moving forward? Well, Kevin Durant is probably going to, he's probably going to amount one of the greatest hauls we've ever seen. KD has made it clear that he has 2 teams that he's favoring, the Miami Heat and the Phoenix Suns. Unfortunately, Miami does not have any draft picks, or at least the amount that will probably be necessary Phoenix does have some draft picks, and they also have DeAndre Ayton that could possibly be moved in the signing trade. I'm not too familiar with every single last clause in the CBA, so maybe that may not work out, but they do have a player that they can move in DeAndre Ayton. And I would seem very interesting to see if Mikal Bridges is thrown in that trade as well. Anyway, moving on to the next topic, a bunch of other players signed some deals. Some players are being moved around. And if you didn't know, the New York Knicks, they think Jalen Brunson is a new Steve Nash. 4-year, $104 million contract to Jalen Brunson, the off guard to Luka Doncic out in Dallas. Personally, I don't know why they did it. I understand they're desperate for a point guard, but Jalen Brunson, I don't know why. I like Brunson, but I don't like him for $100+ million in 4 years. He definitely has some potential depending on the situation that he's in, and also I think that giving him a bigger role offensively will aid them as well. But I don't know how much is going to aid them, especially for a New York Knicks team that's basically just putting mid next to more mid. It's nothing but mid. A couple of other players who got signed, some big names. Anthony Simon staying in Portland 4 years, $100 million. I feel like that's a little bit slightly overpaid, but the reason why is because, of course, if you're Portland, you want to make sure you keep Simons. Bobby Portis staying in Milwaukee. I love that deal. Lonnie Walker going to LA on a 1-year deal. The reason why they want to do that is because they lost Malik Monk to Sacramento. I didn't think Malik Monk was going to take another pay cut. That kind of defeated the whole purpose. Why would I do another prove my worth contract to the league for the Lakers once more, especially since who knows where they're going to be. JaVale McGee leaving Phoenix, going to Dallas for a 3-year, $20 million contract. I'm not too sold on it, but I do like McGee, the energy he gave for the Phoenix Suns last year. I did enjoy it. If you are Phoenix, damn dog, what you doing? Because if you about to lose DeAndre Ayton, who the fuck are you signing? I don't know what's about to happen. Marvin Bagley staying in Detroit. Joe Ingles going to Milwaukee. I do like that for Milwaukee, another shooter. Another big deal, Victor Oladipo staying in Miami, proving his worth for 1 more year. But they also are losing PJ Tucker to Philly. I like that move for Philly. Get them some nice defensive-oriented grit and grind players. Do like that. And also Gary Payton II, as well as Juan Toscano Anderson for the Golden State Warriors. Lost both of them, dog. Sad day for the Warriors. I saw a bunch of people crying on the timeline, which is tough.
You need to fucking relax with that shit, bro.
Yeah, bro, we live in America, man. You can feel how you want, bro, about anything, man. Come on, bro.
Serious? Have you seen the state of the fans on Twitter? What the fuck are you talking about, man? I'm trying to fucking control my emotions, man.
I love GP2, but like he's not a Warrior anymore. So okay, let's just like
he should have been okay. And I'm arguing that he should have been a fucking Warriors for life, or until at the very least until Curry retires, man. They found an ideal piece that can play alongside Curry and be of help as a championship fucking piece, and they just lost him right away.
Also, I was going to talk about this yesterday, but things kind of fell apart. DeJounte Murray is now an Atlanta Hawk. The Hawks sent over Danilo Gallinari and 3 unprotected first-round picks to the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs are going to get an expiring contract in Gallinari, which, I guess. But more importantly, they're going to get the 3 first-rounders. I somewhat like this for San Antonio. I'm not a huge first-round pick guy because normally they don't really amount to much, especially when you're dealing with organizations that actually have young players on their roster that have a lot of potential. But nevertheless, if you're San Antonio, you're hitting the rebuild button. You didn't want to keep Murray on the roster because there was no point of you just being mediocre for the next how many ever years. And then if you are Atlanta, you get DeJounte Murray, guard, defensive-oriented, has the ability to handle the ball, create offense. Not only do you add more depth on the offensive end because of his ability with his ball handling, but also you finally get a perimeter-oriented defender to put alongside Trae Young in a backcourt so you can have a point of attack. You still kept John Collins, so you have the 3-point shooting if you want to run smaller lineups. All in all, I like this trade for the Atlanta Hawks. I'm going to give them an A-. Moving on, though, to the max contracts. Just briefly, we had some mega stars getting the mega contracts, the big bucks, dogs, something crazy. Jokic signs the biggest contract in NBA history, 5-year, $270 million super max contract. Ja Morant also signed a super max contract, 5-year, $231 million. And then we have Devin Booker signed a max contract, 4-year, $224. Same thing with Karl Anthony Towns. And then Bradley Beal also signing a max contract, 5-year, $215 million. So, with that being said, I think that's all of the information, all of the news. Hopefully, we can kind of condense this video down so it can be a little bit more palatable. Day 1 of the NBA free agency 2020, Day 1 of the 2022 NBA offseason was pretty crazy, bro. Free agency is crazy. Kevin Durant demanding trades, all a whole bunch of ridiculousness. Please let me know what you think about all of it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And as always, until I see you next time, peace.